Yeah. All right, we're back on the show live from downtown Toronto. It's me, Hugh Tess, was my co-host today, and now we're joined by Dr. Scott Levine joining us on the show. And
hi, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Scott.
Great to have you here, Scott.
Great to have you here.
Thank you.
You guys know each other already, so we can just just get comfortable here and
get comfortable.
Why not tell that story? Why not tell the story of how we even
sure.
Tesla
Why not?
Yeah, actually, that's a really good segue into
who we are
and into this interview around why you're here today, Vita Brain and Body, and what our stake in each other's success. But I'll introduce you because I was very moved by your website when I saw it. A friend of mine sent me a link to your website, and I saw that you were interested in meeting with, not only new clients, but, looking for investors into this Vita Brain and Body health model. And I was intrigued by it, and immediately we had a connection, and I'd love for you to share what that connection is, given the scope of the symbol that I see on your shirt here and all over the backsplash over there. If you could speak to that, that'd be great.
Yeah, well, in our clinic, about 3 days prior to this phone call, we just had put up our quote on the back wall, which is Nikola Tesla's quote on, if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of vibration, frequency, and energy.
I know somebody else uses that exact same quote.
Right. And so 3 days later, all of a sudden, I'm in my office, my back office, and my assistant Leslie comes in, and she goes, I'm kind of looking up at her, and she's like, "You're never going to believe who's on the phone." And I'm like, "What? What's going on?" Like, I'm thinking something special is really about to happen, and it was. There's a lady on the phone, her name is Tesla, and she says she wants to invest. I'm like, she thinks that it might be even a hoax, because we have our website, when you scroll up, it's the same quote.
Right.
On our vitabrainandbody.com website. And so she basically comes up to me, and you know this story, so I'll tell it to you. She comes up to me and tells me this. I get on the phone, and now I'm alone in my office, which was a really good thing, because at some points I was jumping up and down because we had connected on so many levels on where healing has to go today. Mm-hmm. And how you found out about me also, I only found out during that conversation. So,
yeah, well, I found out about you through a really powerful healer girlfriend of mine. She was at the yoga show and saw you activating people with the symbol, and she was like, "Hey, what do you know about these people?" And I was like, "I don't know anything about these people." But, I Googled you, and, for me, Google is the teller of all tales. You rank in the top 5 for, brain health, and I was just like, okay, well, maybe there's something to it. So then I started to look at the website, and, I made the phone call right away, and here we are today, because we are connecting on multiple levels, and yeah. So, and I think you have the practice at Vita Brain and Body as the template for where healing and healthcare needs to go today, and I'd love for you to share a little bit more around what that looks like, what that is.
I want to too, because Scott activated Dee in the other room, and Dee is a different person now. She's jumping around, running around, all excited.
So we will definitely. I'm going to activate you. We're going to do that. Let me go with. I'm activating him now.
It's happening. Look at his shirt.
Actually, I'll go to right with your question, Tesla, which is what we're trying to do in the clinic, and I'll template it with the fact that day Tesla came into my office, and in between the times that she was coming in, I checked her website now, Simonetics, and I was like. I was so impressed with this one dot. I was like, and this is one of the connections that we now used in part of our explaining of who we are, which is where you said we're tech meets touch, and you had that as one of the main reasons that you would be the model you were creating. And here we were doing this in our clinic. So we're a tech meets touch clinic that focuses on the brain and body, using the science of frequency, vibration, and energy. Nikola Tesla's quote. That's where the quote kind of ties into who we are. So tech. So our upstairs is all built out specifically for technology. We do neurofeedback, biofeedback, which is training of the body and brain. We do really cool technologies like NuCom, NuCalm uses microcurrent. It resets the vagus nerve. Largest study in helping restore sleep is using NuCalm, and that was done at Harvard. Then there's BioCore. So we have a BioCore, measures your biophotons. And this would be considered medical equipment in Russia. And basically what it's doing is giving us an energy profile. And then we use certain technology in our sound and frequency room to help reset the brainwave patterns based on your energy profile.
Wow.
So it's
It's
cutting
next level.
edge.
I'm
So
telling you,
we
it's
have
really cutting
so we have MindFit. MindFit is a hypnosis program because the way you think and feel is the reason you're coming to see me in the first place. So by doing this type of technology, we're resetting the way you think and feel. So we'll do a stop smoking program. We'll do PTSD or restoring sleep programs to help people starting to restore the way they think and feel. Biofeedback is how you can change your state. So state managements are very important, and that can be done completely through breath work. So you'll train against a computer, which gives you a visual system now, reinforcing positively when you go into heart coherence, which is done by inhaling and exhaling at a pace of about 6 times a minute, and we'll start getting you to pace.
So you're using a virtual environment to really support client care, and as well as giving all of the conventional treatments as well, as far as the touch of the various practitioners that you have inside of the
very important component is attracting and creating a 2.0 version of health stay in a touch environment where there's an integrated process, where all the practitioners are so passionate about what they do, they're taking courses all the time.
Yes.
Very important.
Yeah.
If your doctor isn't doing regular studies, how passionate is he about becoming the best at what he does?
That's
No
a
kidding.
good point.
Right?
Yeah.
That's the Google rating, right?
Yeah.
When you took your last course.
Yeah. Especially nowadays.
And what it was, imagine if they posted your last course. Do you think that would incentivize practitioners?
Yeah, absolutely.
If you had to post it and it became a thing?
Well, actually, you can tell sometimes by visiting a doctor. You can tell if they care or not, or if they're just in it for the real estate and the golf.
Well,
Yes.
I don't want to make any judgment.
I'm not judging.
No,
I'm
because
just saying.
what I'm saying is true as far as
Yeah.
the passion for someone in a professional setting is figuring out how to become the best at what they do. That's great. Do you always do that at that point, the music?
Well, it's just
Maybe-
that's my range.
maybe
That's
just
my
turn it
range,
on.
right? I just
Honestly,
I like
you
to
know
keep-
how to
It's
bring
called-
in the tunes.
It's always the same tune, unless I change it. But I just switched to this.
One of my
ringtone last
passions
week.
is vibration, but maybe you should turn your phone to
We actually
vibrate.
have a sign. We have a
What?
sign in our clinic.
Yeah.
Help up our vibration. Turn your cell phones to vibe.
To vibe.
To vibe.
Yeah,
that's the sign.
That's our
So our
saying.
clinic's really
I'll do that right
interesting.
now.
So our clinic, I did this art piece. I took the old desk that had been their desk since 1996 to 2017. So I didn't want to throw this big slab of wood out. So I cut it. I got someone to cut it in half and created a mystical door. And I invite
Very
people
cool.
to come just to put their eye up to the people. And I want, right?
Yes.
It's magic.
Yes, it is magic.
And then when you come down, I created an environment. So I remember seeing Deepak Chopra's right-hand, Simon, who runs his clinics at the Chopra Center. And he did a talk on the 5 sensory environment to create it. That's what they thought of when they were looking at the clinic and they were creating it. And I did the same thing. I have water features, creating water. I have a LCD TV that literally just shows pictures of calming environments like the beach, music playing,
Wow,
and then
yes.
crystals. I have a crystal wall and crystals because there is science of how crystals can shift energy. So what our focus is the moment you come through the front door, we need to start doing the healing right then. Why not? We can we can create the environment of the next level.
Absolutely.
clinic.
Absolutely. I'm going to share that, one of the things that I found most interesting the first time I walked through the clinic was that energy of, oh my God, I'm in space that's sacred, that's going to make me feel better. It felt very different from all of the years that I spent going into these 3-dimensional hospitals that we have in our existing healthcare paradigm, that really, when you walk in, you're like, oh my God, you can smell the grossness of the food that's being served inside of there.
At least they have Jell-O.
And yeah, but I mean,
But I have to say, let's be real with let's not,
The difference.
everyone is right. See, what happens is, the way I explain it is, you want the firemen to put out the fire at your house,
yeah,
but you don't want the firemen to redesign your house.
right.
So what I say is, I'm part of the architect team. I'm part of the designer and
The design
architect,
team.
the design team, and the firemen are perfect. I want the firemen
That's
if
right.
I have a fire.
That's right. To my point, is that when you walk into your architectural space, what you're delivering to someone who's perhaps had the fire put out, but is now looking for like, okay, let's not light this fire again, right? What kind of architectural space do I need to be in?
Well, what's your story? Because I think it's part of who you are.
Yes.
So tell me about, again, your story of how your
I
health
also
shifted.
I also wanted to share with you just this point, and when you mentioned around Deepak Chopra. Part of what I'm doing right now, and it's a perfect segue into my story, is I'm chairing one of the groups, or actually, my business partner, and one of my partners is the vice chair for the Global Wellness Institute Wellness Architecture Initiative. And the Global Wellness Institute is an organization. It's a not-for-profit. They're global. They've got multiple education or evidence-based initiatives with large stakeholders. They're endorsed by like the U.S. Governor General, Surgeon General in south of the border, and Deepak Chopra, all of these guys, they get together once every 2 years to go to a stakeholder location that really exemplifies what it is to be in a wellness environment. And the Wellness Architecture Initiative is all about like creating these spaces that embody not only the use of sustainable materials, but again, sustainable regenerative design into that interior, so everybody gets the experience of being in a space that supports your restoration. So my story, as it relates to that, is, and how I was connected there, is I've been a big player in the healthcare arena for a number of years. I've worked with large multinational brands like Johnson & Johnson, their first women's health division. I worked with, Smith & Nephew in their advanced clinical therapies and biologics division. And, I worked with these organizations to help them deliver the health economic business case for their disruptive technology portfolios. And so what that means is I essentially worked with the market to figure out how we could get public and private funding for like really cool technology. Because when we talk tech, I'm like, how can we take tech to the next level, and how can we make it fun? What do we need to do to like have more fun with how we integrate technology into like, the clinical?
And you were calling it play medicine?
Play is medicine. I don't know.
I love that.
Yeah. So have you heard of exercise as medicine? Hugh, have you heard of exercise as medicine?
No.
Okay, it's a new thing out of the States. It's essentially run by CSEP, like they're like the whole sports medicine accredited group for fitness professionals and just healthcare professionals, I guess. But anyway, they're pretty much on every campus here in Canada right now too. They're at U of T, and they have a prescription-based model for integrating exercise as medicine. So
Brilliant.
I'm kind of like, okay, well, exercise is medicine, but we all know that that's for a lot of people, especially when your fire has just been put out, as far as coming out of an acute disease, or even an acute flare-up of something that you're dealing with chronically.
This is your own story you're talking about now?
Yeah, just how play as medicine came into being.
But it was when you had your hip, or
Yeah. So I had my own personal injury that
and this is where the light bulb went on.
Yeah, totally. Well, to be honest, I'm going to share with you that working inside of corporate Canada, in these corporate healthcare organizations, I had a real visionary experience and a vision to create a better model for healthcare. And I understand, as a market insider, you know a few things about how money flows and stuff like that. And I figured out a pathway with the team that I was working with back then. We figured out a pathway that we could actually make it more accessible for physicians like yourself to embrace technology and touch and be compensated really well to do that. In that happening, in that sort of awareness happening, I fell and I hurt my hip. I broke my hip, and I thought, oh my God, how am I going to heal myself? Because I know that healing's possible. I believe it. I've lost 125 pounds myself. I've come back from multiple surgeries with the practice of yoga and like infrared light. So that's my first foray into understanding the importance of light therapy.
Yes.
And but when I broke my hip, I thought, oh my God, how am I going to heal myself? And that's when I came into vibration therapy, and that came through a connection that I have at Toronto Rehab, their VP of Research, who told me about the technology they were using it in their rehabilitation program. So here we are. I've figured out, okay, well, I can heal myself because, these folks who have been using this vibration therapy for a number of years.
Yeah.
What do I need to do to get it? And that was sort of catapulted
It's
me
also who you are.
into
You
this
always
whole
find the best.
into this whole foray of like, okay, how do I connect myself with the best in class technologies to support restoring myself fully, especially because we have the tools.
Right.
We just need to be able to have the access.
So besides like your own personal story, where have you gone now into the science and studies of vibration and stem cell and some of the things you were telling me about?
Right. So part of the reason why I wanted you on the show today was to really talk about where the science is for what you're doing and what I know is possible in this market around the integration of vibration and energy and frequency medicine, because in the world of vibration therapy now, they actually right at U of T, they're doing a study on vibration for bone remodeling. And they know that in combination with the biopharmaceutical, vibration's breaking up bone cancer tumors. So what I know in the world of biologics and injections that go into your joints to restore your joint health, instead of pills and surgery, you can have these injections. We're moving into this age of stem cell injections, and stem cell injections are autologous stem cells, and that's a word everybody should get to know and not be afraid of when we say the word stem cells, because you don't necessarily need to get stem cells from babies. You can get them from your own body.
I love you said that, because that is when you heard stem cell, you were thinking umbilical cord or something like that. We don't think of that we can get our own stem cells, and it's that easy. Yeah,
well, it is that easy. The thing about getting your own stem cells, though, is that you have to have a vital brain and body, because the more
I don't know how you just put my name in there.
Hello. Because the more advanced
she's good.
The more you slip down the slope of degenerative disease, the harder it is for you to get a good stem cell isolate. And my thing is okay, if we're going to go into this whole area of stem cells, what do we need? What kind of tools do we need to connect with to make it so that our bodies remain vital and healthy and connected to producing the right amount of energy through our mitochondria, so we can actually get these good stem cells to really support our restoration. So here you are with this clinic that marries all of the stuff that I know is possible into one space. And I thought, okay, well, I need to connect with you so that we can talk about what we can do together to deliver on a proof of concept for what the healing 2.0 needs to look like for Canadians and how we adopt that.
Beautiful. So one of the things that I've been doing for a long time now is measuring muscle tension on the spine, doing heart rate variability, which measures kind of stress and how stressed this overall system is. We record chemical stresses like food sensitivities, things like that. We will go through trauma to understand how past emotions can be playing into someone's health. And then we look at physical. So we look at the stresses of current and past of chemical, physical, and emotional stress. Because the Center for Disease Control said that 90% of disease today is caused by stress. Right?
This is wonderful. So you do a total assessment.
Total assessment. We look at how far and how long you've been in survival for.
Right.
And then the programs are meant to take you out of survival. So each visit is meant to put you into more coherent state. Brain goes more into theta. So after my treatments, I use something called biosonic brain tuners. They're brain tuners that are in the alpha, beta, theta, and delta wave. And by placing it, it's close to the ears, and we've done neurofeedback where we saw the EEG change on it, where you can actually see the state of that frequency evening out, because the brain works on different frequencies, kind of like how gears on a car change. Some gears are for climbing hills, like gear 1, and some are for coasting. Well, the brain works the same way. Delta, for example, is for deep sleep, whereas alpha is the wave frequency you need to be in tune to fall asleep. And if your alpha wave is not disrupted, it could be the reason you are not falling asleep, maybe because your alpha wave is out of tune.
Right. So you do the assessment. Take me through like like the client's process in your clinic, because you seem to flow them through like a really strong management, like a strong systematized.
So tours
platform.
usually started. So we show where the different types of therapies happen. So upstairs we have the tech. Downstairs, front office is more touch and more physio-type chiropractic, functional, brain-based, performance-based chiropractic, pediatric chiropractic. And then in the back rooms we have more the touch, which is bioenergetic naturopath. And we just show what our space looks like so the person's familiar with it, where the bathroom is simple. And then we take you into an exam room. And it's what I call the lab, because it's filled with technology.
Wonderful.
The first 30 minutes is a functional exam with someone like myself, and I'll be using applied kinesiology, which is an ability to tap into your system and connect with it to find out where certain things are happening. And then we make a map, and we make a road map that is program-based, based on combining different therapists and different types of technology. So therapists can do craniosacral therapy. We have energy therapists, Reiki. We'll do journeys where that therapist brings you into hypnosis. So he brings your brain back to the place of theta, which is your first 7 years of your life, and you go through a journey. But the main thing is the technology, because then we're going to get a baseline.
Right.
So the baseline is in heart rate variability, EMG, thermal. We have a 60,000 sensor base plate where we measure how much sway you have, which gives us insight into anything from cerebellum function, ear function, feet, because we have your eyes open and closed. We can see how much your visual system has to be engaged to have a good balance. Then we do something called a cryovision. We're one of like 6 clinics in the world that has this technology, and we've had it since 2002. And I just kept updating with the technology. I was the first English-speaking person.
Physician or practitioner?
Practitioner, yeah. And it's incredible. Everyone should get a scan because it's non-invasive. Everything in our clinic is non-invasive. There is no radio waves or anything like that. It's all done with different types of readings that are just sensitive to your body. So this one looks at reflective light. And the cameras and software, when it looks at reflective light, maps out your posture. And it looks like almost what an MRI would look like for if you did the outside of the body, but looking like a topographic maps. Remember those? Where the mountains had little... So you can see slight changes in one shoulder versus the other. Slight forward head posture. But what's really cool is it maps the bottom of your feet too. And then we can draw lines all the way up to show that a jaw that could be off a little bit could be corrected through the foot.
Wow, yeah. See? Like, this is, to me, where medicine is going. If we were looking at incorporating what you're doing right now into, like, and when I say the word exercise is medicine, that comes with a certain amount of, like, you get a vision for what that could look like, correct?
Healing the body through exercise.
Right. So when I say play is medicine, and given what you're doing in your clinic right now, and some of the things that you've told me that you do with your clients in nature walks and all the rest of it, what's that sort of vision for you as a practitioner, and knowing what you're doing at Vita Brain and Body, and where you see the evolution of healthcare going?
Well, it comes from two ends. It comes from the demand, so people getting this enough that they're interested in discovering for themselves what this would be like for them. And that could be just as simple as booking an initial and just understanding how it feels to be and to know all that information, because to have a choice, you have to have awareness first.
Right.
right? The moment they come in, people are brought to be aware. After that, it just becomes their own choice, what they proceed with. And that's no different than what even this 30 minutes is about, is we're creating some awareness about this 2.0. The other part is attracting the team. Because this is next level. You have to be open. You have to be open to that. The Nikola Tesla's quote is about energy, frequency, and vibration. Now, it is all backed on science. You know, we're using violites. Violites look at infrared, low infrared lighting on the head. And this is this would be your frequency more.
Yeah,
right? Your
plate
energy,
technology, right?
It's energy. When we use tuning forks, it's vibration.
It's fun.
When we're putting them on a vibrational plate, it's vibration.
Yes.
You know, so there's vibration frequency all around our clinic. And even every practitioner is doing anything, including chiropractors. They are doing energy, frequency, and vibration. And I was telling you what the definition of a subluxation was before. Right? Like as a chiropractor, I learned that I was correcting subluxations. But as a chiropractor for a long time, I was thinking it was less than a dislocation. You know, it's a bit out of joint. It's not dislocated, it's subluxated, right? But what you learn, and I just wasn't in the right place at the time, but I now see the light, is sub, which means less. Lux is light. Less light. I'm correcting less light as a chiropractor. So what am I doing?
Putting the light switches on. Flipping the switch.
Turning the lights
You
back
are
on.
flipping the switch.
But
And that's what we're doing.
That's interesting, just that the language did that, right? Because I'm sure that was not a conscious decision to spell the word that way.
Oh, it's very conscious. The first clinics by D.D. Palmer and B.J. Palmer was a sanitarium. It was for the mentally ill, and they had amazing results. And then what happened in a lot of chiropractic to help with acceptance maybe went more medical model, more like the physio model, which is what a lot of chiropractors graduating today are more of. They've lost the origins, the philosophy and the knowledge base of the sanitarium. So we created, and you said it, if you Google Toronto Brain Health or Toronto Brain Clinic, we're number 5, page 1. And that's because we have been healing brains now. And when you heal the brain, you heal the body. And when you heal the body, you heal the brain. And that's why we work on both. And that's why we call ourselves one brain, one body. We are one, vita, brain, and body.
I mean, will it work for stuff like, because, I mean, mental health right now is huge. I mean, and it just seems to me that so many people are struggling with it, whether it's depression or whether it's, bipolar or schizophrenia, those things. Like, will what you do work on some of those kinds of things?
Well, I never say I work on something. I say I optimize who they are today and help them through tomorrow.
Okay.
So we've witnessed many amazing healings, and sometimes we don't see as much.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's because it is complex. We have a complex brain in a complex body that lives in a complex economy, socioeconomic. And it could be a relationship that's constantly stressing their system. At the end of the day, we're still doing the same thing in our clinic, which is always our focus is reducing their level of stress that they came in with. And over time, that repetition hopefully creates neuroplasticity, which reprograms their brain to be able to deal stress. So what your threshold happens. So a good example is headaches or migraines. This happens very frequently, so it's a story that I'm most recently telling again, which is basically the threshold for stress is here. And it's because of lifetime of emotional, chemical, physical stressors. And so what happens is it rains and they get a headache. They eat something wrong that's not right for their sensitivities. They get a headache. And their signaling system happens to be a headache. Now, we didn't come with a manual, and if we did, it would be like just seeing check under hood, right? Those are the headaches. Those are your pains. Those are your low back areas, knee pain, foot pain. These are signals. And our go-to is disconnecting from our body.
Right. Anytime
someone takes any type of medicine that deals with symptoms, not the cause, then we're dealing with by disconnecting with our body. Ours is one brain, one body. Our goal is to reconnect you. By reconnecting your brain and body and your spirit as one, bring you back to one, then what happens is you start to change your vibration. And health is a higher vibration than dis-ease, which is a higher vibration than disease,
Right.
which is a higher vibration than death. There is no vibration in death.
That's right.
So if you want to get healthier, you raise your vibration. Now, there are many things outside of what we do, and we also recommend them. Everything from, like what you said, yoga,
Oh yeah, totally.
right? That deals with a lot of higher vibration.
Yes.
But you can practice anything that will change your vibration. It can be breathing, that slowing down, an awareness, mindfulness.
Mm-hmm.
The confusion, I think, is if I have a limited amount of money, a limited amount of time, where is my biggest bang to get started so I can get positively reinforced enough to do step number 2? So step number 1 for me with every person is drinking enough water.
Right.
It's a proven thing. We talk about it a lot.
Yes.
We're 70-80% water.
Yeah. So why aren't we doing it
Well, I've been
70 to
drinking
80%
on it.
of
Whenever
the
we
time?
speak, you have to
Yeah.
drink, right?
Yeah,
But-
totally.
And okay, great.
But I that changed my life when I read a book called Your Body's Cries for Water, which went through normal aging processes and showed how it's chronic level dehydration. Then because we ask unique questions, one of them is how many glasses of water do you drink a day?
Mm-hmm.
I could tell you 1 out of 20 drink enough.
What is enough? Just
I think it's different for everyone, but 2 to 3 liters is
2 to
like
3
your
2 to 3
minimum.
liters,
Like
a day.
I drink a lot, but I think for what I do, being a chiropractor, moving a lot, and doing energy type work, 5
You need
liters
to
is what I
drink a
usually
lot.
drink.
Yeah.
And I have a great routine to get people started, and I tell this routine to anyone. So once a week, I cut up ginger, boil it in a pot of water, and then the water will go brown, and then I tincture off that into 2 mason jars, which is a liter each, and I put those in the fridge. Then each night before, I take off a third of one of the jars, pour into another mason jar, add a squeeze of lemon, fill the rest with water. That's 1 liter, 1/3 the ginger, lemon, and I put it beside my toilet. Because in the morning, that is where I'll go. And I drink that water as if it's vitamins or medicine or anything else you would take. It's part of my routine.
so that's a liter.
That's a
first
liter.
thing.
So I'm
First
in
thing.
liter. And I know I must lose water, and we do. We lose lots of water when we're sleeping. We either perspire,
Yeah.
or we're also, a lot of processes are going on while we sleep. So I'm actually dehydrated when I wake up.
Yeah.
So it's the best thing.
Yeah, I am too. I know that I am.
I have a coffee, but it's not before having water.
Yeah.
So
So, we don't have too much time left. I just want to say though, but like really, so people out there watching this, like really, who should think about giving you a call coming down to the clinic?
I mean, because we're brain and body,
Yeah.
I can't really say no to anyone.
Right.
Because it could be you have a reason, and it could be you just want to get a baseline. And a baseline is an amazing thing. Like when have you ever had a brain health exam before?
I've had my brain mapped
Right.
in the past.
And you're unique with that.
Yes.
Ask that to anyone else, most people will say they
A brain health exam
Yeah.
sounds like a pretty good idea.
Well,
for
have
most
you ever
people.
had one?
I've
Have you
never
ever-
had one.
Yeah.
Right. So we get our teeth checked every year, do we
Yeah.
not?
Right.
We go for a doctor's checkup, we'll get our blood work, we'll get our blood pressure work, we get our heart checked. We don't get our brain checked. And which is the most important organ, would you say?
Brain.
Energy
brain.
center, right?
Brain,
Energy
right?
center,
It's
energy
running
center.
it's
energy
all
center.
important. So our best,
Yeah.
we think we call it the communication exam. So we look at some of the brain, we look at the body, we look at how it's communicating with each other, and then we create a map, and it comes with it's a full booklet where you're going to have a full printout of everything. And that's where anyone that wanted to see more. And then watch the next time you see Tesla and I coming up. Right?
Yeah.
Because we have a real idea of creating a way to give people the choice, and that's by creating some more awareness around this.
Around Vita Brain and Body, around the
Around-
concept of play as medicine, and
Around
how
health
and
and
how that
how you-
interplays with
and how
regenerative health.
you can change your
yeah,
life.
exactly. Regenerative health, regenerative medicine, and the policy around that. So that's going to be our version of Liquid Lunch 2.0.
Now, did you want me to activate you?
Yes.
Yes.
Please. Okay.
So maybe we can talk a little bit about what the activation,
What the
symbol
symbol
is, what it, yes,
So
yeah.
the
'cause-
symbol is an app, and it's an app that we will bring out when we have 15,000 people. And we just launched January 31st, 2018. And it's called 01. And the app is called 01, and about 6 months after we were doing the app, we were going to a workshop, and we decided to make the logo for the app on a temporary tattoo and gift everyone at the workshop the temporary tattoo. And we thought we were just going to talk about the app. Oh yeah, it's going to be our app. It's like an energy sharing app. It's really powerful. And what happened was we ended up talking a lot about what people saw, felt, or thought when they had this on or saw it. So what we say is it just represents love. And by me giving you this now, I'm sharing love with you. And it's through that emotion of love, the highest vibration. And then I give you always another one, and this is for you to gift to someone.
Thank you.
So giving the opportunity for you to also give love.
It's a Fibonacci, though, isn't it? Isn't it the 1, 3?
Yes, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 5.
1, 2, yeah, 3, 5.
1, 2, 3, 5, and then the colors are meaningful, and there's 8 circles or 4 pairs of 2. And if you do go to the Instagram, you'll see the around the world how people are activating all over the world right now. And kids love activating. And the other thing we have is these Post-its that we'll place in areas, and it's fun to activate a space. I love it.
So
Look at that.
now these are temporary, right?
Yeah. And here's yours.
So does that mean that we become deactivated after it wears off?
That's why you need to have
You got to set your intentions right. You see what it said there, right?
Yeah. So this is what it is, right? The next level of healing and healing practice is like being in a state of activation so that you're at the highest vibration, so that dis-ease can't stay. It can't be in you because you won't feed it with anything. It's not,
You've got this.
Oh, yeah.
You've got this.
Oh,
Tesla.
yeah. Kidding.
Please.
I was born for this.
This is more for this.
Yes,
The
yes.
name Tesla says it, right?
Exactly,
Good for
exactly.
you. I love being your partner.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, well, thanks for coming on the show today. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
Activating us.
Thanks
here
for
today.
having us.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, wonderful. It's a
And so
pleasure.
people 01.xyz for the
Z or Z, right?
right.
Z for the love activation, and Vita Brain and Body for
And the app's coming out
.com.
once we get 15,000 people.
Yeah, I signed up either on the Instagram or on our join on our website. And then when we have 15,000 people, we can launch the app.
Fantastic. Okay, great. Well, good to meet you. Thanks for
to
coming
meet you.
on the show today.
Thank you.
So we're going to take a little break, Tessa. We got more coming up.
sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Okay, we'll be right back. Thatchannel.com.